Damaged Goods Podcast.
He's just hard to find or reach. You know, he was living a certain kind of lifestyle that isn't always the safest and comes with a lot of danger. So, but he made it. It's cool. It's a nice little, like, I don't know, what would you call this? I feel like you would have a good knowledge of what the phrase is for that. What's the proper nomenclature for you guys that can't hear what we're looking at? It's a glass. It's a circular glass thing that looks like there's a little, like,
I don't know.
terrarium in
like
it.
a marble, like with a terrarium.
Yeah, it's very terrarium-y inside of it. It looks real hippy-dippy, crystally, but it's not. There's a crystal over there on the counter.
Where?
You can't see it. I was at an art show the other day, and some guy gave it to me, but I don't know.
Into crystals?
I don't know. I don't know if I am. I'm not into crystals.
They work. They
do?
actually work. I mean, I feel like it's so trendy and cheesy. Like,
It is.
to fucking put your crystals like
very-
on Instagram, and I see like
Very.
I see all of those girls that are actually like they're going to catch. With those douchey guys we were talking about, and then
Oh,
they're
God.
posting crystals, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I was in Venice on Abbot Kinney for like a little music street festival recently, and popping in a lot of stores, a lot of fucking crystals over in Abbot Kinney in Venice.
They
A lot of
have
crystals.
power. I mean, they definitely have energy, and I was very skeptical of them, but someone gave kyanite to me, and kyanite is something you can put on your heart or you can put it on your third eye. And when I put it on my third eye, I like calmed down so much, and that was really the beginning of me learning how to properly meditate. So it does work.
That meditative voice is my guest today, Jena Covello. And she's up here like help explaining some of these items that in my house that are lurking here that I'm not sure I know all about, but it's good. She brought me gifts. You brought me gifts from your holistic line. Because I'm not gonna pronounce the French shit right. You got to do it for me.
Say Agent Nateur.
It sounds better when you say it the way you say it. You say it good.
Agent Nateur.
See, that sounds way more fancy.
Agent Nateur. My
Agent
French
Nateur.
friends say it much better.
What did you bring me, Jenna? What did you bring me?
Okay, well, I brought you 2 natural deodorants.
'Cause I
So they're
smell.
aluminum free. And if you don't know, the reason why you want to avoid antiperspirant and aluminum is because aluminum is an endocrine disruptor. So it completely fucks up the hormones.
Causes
and-
cancer or some shit, right?
Well, it can lead to cancer. I think it's a big step to say that it causes breast cancer in a small amount. I don't like to scare people, but it's not good, and it's not good for the brain. It contributes to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, but yeah, it's bad. And your underarms can absorb up to 90% of what you put on them, so it's really a safe idea to use natural
So
deodorant.
you guys, we'll have pictures of these. These things are like in these cool, like round kind of dope. They don't look like corny ass right guard and shit. They're like these kind of pretty elegant little deodorant joints.
They're sold at Neiman Marcus.
Oh, you
Net-a-Porter.
fancy. Okay.
Yeah, they're fancy.
Ooh. So, you know, like, so when I learned about, you know, the aluminum shit in like, you know, what are all those brands are, the major brands. And so I started fucking with this is years and years ago.
Yeah.
The Tom's brand, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people, like, the joke is like, yeah, it's natural shit, but like it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
And I knew a kid, he had a strong funk to him, and he used it. It never covered any sense. I didn't have a big problem myself, but does your shit
So it's
keep me
really
smelling good?
So it's really funny because my doctors and my dad, since I was 16, was telling me to avoid antiperspirant because of the aluminum, and I thought he was crazy back then. That was like over 2 decades ago. So
He's a smart dude then.
Yeah, he's a really smart dude. He like knows his shit. But anyway, I tried all these natural deodorants, and Tom's was the final straw. I'm like, I smelled worse using these natural deodorants than I did without deodorant. They were like bringing out like
Different
smells
funks.
that I never like knew I had. Like it was so disgusting. So
I'm scared right now. I'm smelling myself. I'm self-conscious.
So I was I cooked this for 9 months over 100 times.
What do you mean you cooked it?
I cooked it in my kitchen. I cooked it.
You to make deodorant, you're cooking?
I made it. Yeah, I cooked it. Yeah. I used to cook Special K like when I was like 18. So.
I'll bet you there's probably some lurking in a drawer in this house somewhere that has been sitting around for a long time too.
Oh my God. I haven't done that since I was
Good for
literally
you,
like
Jena.
21.
Stay on that tip,
I'm
girl.
not staying on that tip. Hold on, you have to make sure I look okay.
You look great. Don't worry.
Hold on.
The true beauty radiates from the inside out, Jena.
Mm.
There you go. The deodorants look cool and they smell good just when I was
I have
getting
to
them.
approve those pictures, by the way.
Jake.
Jake.
Don't worry. I know how it goes. I know how it goes. My all the females in my life, except for my mother, are really like picky about what photos get to fly.
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. I'm kind of like that too. So.
Okay, fine.
But so you were cooking the deodorant in the kitchen?
I was cooking the deodorant in the kitchen for like 9 months. And then I gave it to 100 people and like 90 wanted to buy it. So I knew I had something special. So baking soda is what makes it work. It's what really takes the odor away.
That's in every kind of deodorant?
Well, I was the first person to get a natural deodorant in a stick, especially a luxury deodorant. So I'm like the first natural luxury deodorant brand on the market.
It does look very fancy. This shit does look elegant and fly. It is not, that ain't no fucking Old Spice.
Yeah, so Old Spice works though, and they have deodorants that work that aren't antiperspirant, but the problem with them is they have all of the dyes in them, like the blue dye, which isn't good. So there's a minimal amount of people who get a rash from baking soda because the pH is so high, and it's hard to cut the pH because the natural pH of the body goes on the acidic side between a 6 and a 7. And baking soda has a pH of a 12, so it bothers some people because it's too alkaline. So I created the sensitive version for people who have the rash or have the allergy to the baking soda.
And that's what people get those like red marks sometimes under their underarm or something like that. That's what that is. I feel like I've experienced that maybe once or twice. Not a normal thing, but I probably attribute it to like which deodorant I was using.
With natural deodorant?
I don't think it was with a natural, no.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, natural deodorant is similar to antiperspirant. And when I say that, I mean like when you were using antiperspirant, you had a brand that you liked. There's so many brands on the market, but you had to find the one that you liked best, right? Yeah. So a lot of people like try a natural deodorant and they're like, oh, it doesn't work, so natural deodorant sucks. And that's like not the case. You just have to find the one that works for you. And now, since I've pretty much paved the way, now there's multiple brands that you can choose from.
How long have you guys been around? Long.
So I did a soft launch in 2015, but really since 2016, January 2016.
And what's this other cool body oil?
Oh, so this is a body oil, which, by the way, makes a great shave oil as well. My business manager told me that he loves it for a shave oil. But it actually helps with like stretch marks and
I got a lot of those.
And scars. It's amazing, and it'll be good for your tattoos.
Shit looks good, dude.
But I formulate it in France, and I get all of my ingredients mostly in Europe just to avoid all the GMOs.
I was gonna ask if that was the reason why.
Yeah, that's the reason why. But actually, France is kind of getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the cost a lot more though? Because you have to go source it from Europe.
Yeah, the cost is a lot more, but the quality is better.
So you actually give a fuck about what's in your product. You actually care.
Yeah, I really care, and I source everything, and I'm very close to all of my suppliers, and I source like the best ingredients. And
that shit smells great.
It works. That's
holy oil? Am I saying it right? That's pretty cool. It's holy with an I. So I like that.
Yeah, because this was
like holistic.
So, but it's in a stick, so it was holy stick. So
that's cool. That's clever. Look at you. Look at you.
Now I have holy water that's about to launch.
Oh, what? Let me see.
I don't have that on me, but
what's in the holy water?
But you should. It's rose water, lavender, pitaya, cucumber. But this is actually the first holy oil, which is for the face. You should put this on your face.
I will. We're gonna do that after this. We're gonna videotape it.
Okay.
And videotape it. I sound like I'm 70.
Holy C, it's a vitamin C powder. Most vitamin C is derived from GMO corn, so you want to be really careful with your.
Wait, the vitamin C that people put into like supplements and vitamins is coming from GMO corn?
Coming from China, from GMO corn.
Jesus.
Yeah, but this is the powder, so this is fun. It looks like drugs.
How do you take a vitamin C powder? You mix it up.
Well, that's for your face. So you mix it with water, and then you put it on your face.
Like and
A
it's like
dime
a
size
clay
amount.
or some shit, kind of like, or does it soak in?
No.
Yeah, looks like my girlfriend's gonna come in the house and there's gonna be all this white powder on the table. She's thinking we're doing lines and blow.
There's like, we have some Midori on the table. We have vitamin C.
Looks good. Don't worry about it. Make a mess, dude. I like it.
So look, so you go like that. Here, put it in your hand because I want you to put it on your face. Hold on.
And I'm just rubbing this in my face?
Yeah, you need a few drops of water though. Can you put a few drops of water there?
I can use my finger drop. So what is it? What's the oil you just stuck in my hand?
So that's the face oil. That's the holy oil. So let's see.
So, and then I'm just gonna rub this on my face.
Hold on, I'm gonna get you in a video.
Yeah.
You're gonna rub.
Is
that
it gonna
on
look
your
crazy?
face.
You
No,
don't
you're
have to
gonna look
approve
great.
these. I'm gonna look crazy.
No,
I'm
you're
cool to
gonna
look
look
crazy.
great.
Just anywhere.
All over your face.
All over.
Yeah.
Smells very good. Can you guys hear me rubbing my skin with this? It smells really good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Does this make gray hair go away?
It doesn't, but let's see. Yeah.
Shit's awesome, dude.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Feels good.
Right?
It doesn't feel like I have like a film on my face or nothing. It's not like sticky and shit.
Yeah.
I'm all greasy. We'll shake your hand and slip right off you.
Yeah, it'll absorb. It won't leave. Like your skin won't be greasy.
Oh, it feels good.
Yeah.
And what's this gonna do? This is gonna.
It's good for fine lines and wrinkles. It's good. It actually acts as a natural SPF. It has a natural SPF of 8.
That's
so
good.
It's like,
I'm very scared about skin cancer. I put a lot of sunblock on.
I hope you use healthy.
When I can,
Sunblock.
yeah, I do. What do you recommend me some good healthy sunblock brands?
I'm launching mine next year, so I'll give you that
nice
one.
plug. Yeah, I'll buy it, dude. I figure if you're rubbing that shit in your skin all day, you can't have some gnarly fucking.
Yeah, you have to make
chemical
sure
metal
there's no oxybenzone or
What's that?
oxybenzone. It gets into the DNA of the cells. It's really bad, so it can change the.
So how
actual
did you
DNA.
get all into like people? Okay, my mother's ex-boyfriend. I talk about this on the podcast, so I know you've heard this one before. It's like he's a homeopathic doctor, and though I got really into certain healthy shit because he was putting me on by putting my mom onto a lot of shit, and I got into it because I'm into healthy eating and exercise and shit like that. So why wouldn't I be into all this other shit, knowing what's good for you, but also what's bad and what's out there? And he got into it because he just, I don't think he had a family member who had experienced just a rough time using Western medicine. So how did you get all into going on the holistic route with all this shit? The beauty products and shit.
So what happened was, well, I have a history of something called endometriosis, which is an autoimmune disease.
Yo, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Explain to me, because I hear about people talk about autoimmune disorders, and I'm all about saying I don't know shit when I don't, and I don't know what an autoimmune disorder is. Sounds
So
broad in general.
Yeah, so basically it has to do with inflammation in the body, and it has to do with the immune system. A lot of theories were that the immune system is attacking itself of foreign antibodies. But other doctors are disputing that and saying that all of these diseases have one thing in common, and that's too much inflammation in the body. So rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay, so I always see the commercials for that.
Hashimoto's, which is the thyroid disorder, endometriosis, adenomyosis, Lyme disease, all of
Okay,
these,
so
they're
Lyme disease is
autoimmune.
so my mother has an autoimmune disorder.
Yeah, she has an autoimmune disorder. So the first step that you take to repair that naturally is you get on an autoimmune diet, which is called like the AIP diet. And you can like modify that, you're supposed to modify that with your natural doctor, but that basically gets the histamine and the inflammation in your body under control. Because all of these diseases are triggered by inflammation and stress.
So inflammation is not just like physical inflammation on the outside or feeling bloated or swollen. It's like some other deeper shit. Yo, you got to educate some of my listeners and myself at the same time. Some of us don't know all this shit.
Okay, so
We want to be healthy.
inflammation is okay. So for endometriosis, it's when oh God, how do I explain this in the most simple way? Okay, so when a woman has her cycle, right? And the lining of the uterus sheds, right? That's like what the period is. Well, that lining grows outside of the uterus and it can grow in any area of the body. So it can grow on the brain, it can grow in your nose. Mine grows like on my fallopian tubes, on my ovaries, it can grow on the kidneys. So basically, what happens is it turns into this like dried up blood inside internally inside the body, and then it turns into like almost like glue, like crazy glue, and the organs in the body start sticking together like crazy glue. Everything is stuck. And so when you're eating a diet that's like high in sugar, or when you're getting stressed, like that's causing like your adrenals to go into fight or flight mode. And when that happens, that completely triggers the thyroid, and it sets the thyroid off. And the thyroid is what controls like all of the reproductive hormones. And when those are thrown off balance, women begin making too much estrogen. And when you're making too much estrogen, because endometriosis is an estrogen dominant disease, the estrogen receptors are what become inflamed, and it's almost like the receptors themselves are stressed, and they're hitting on all different nerve points in the body, causing chronic pain.
So a diet, what did you call it? AIP diet?
Yeah, the autoimmune protocol diet. It's an amazing diet, but the issue is that it takes up to 2 years for you to see results.
Damn, dude.
So it's a very difficult diet. It's not easy. I was like, miserable for 3 months, like for 90 days. It was torturous. But now I'm used to it, and I've gone off of it. I went off of it this week, and I'm feeling like shit right now.
Just one meal off of it, or did you like slip up for a week or what?
No, I've slipped. So I had a dinner like 2 nights ago at one of those douchey restaurants, actually.
It's not a douchey restaurant. It's only douchey if you do it douchey, like the way they do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so then today I'm paying for it because this morning I really went off of it, and I'm having like crazy pain right now. Because it all has to do with the digestion. Also, a lot of these inflammatory diseases start in the gut, and they cause leaky gut. So it's actually, have you heard of leaky gut? It's actually when there's like holes in the gut lining, right? And so the food is actually leaking out, and it's like dispersing itself like in the bloodstream, causing massive amounts of inflammation. And GMOs and glyphosate really contribute to leaky gut as well. So the first step you take in fixing any autoimmune disease is to fix the gut and to fix the inflammation. And the first way you fix the inflammation is through the gut and get the digestion under control.
Like for what foods, I guess, does it mean that are definite no-nos? What do you got to cut out?
Okay, so one, no gluten at all. No gluten, no sugar, no refined sugar, no grains, and no nuts.
No nuts?
No nuts, no cheese, no dairy. It's basically a diet of fruit, vegetables, fish, a little bit of meat. You can have like a little bit of like hemp milk or almond milk.
Why no nuts? I'm surprised.
Because the nuts contribute to the leaky gut because they get through the lining. No seeds. But that's only if you have like an autoimmune condition. And after a year, I'm actually allowed to have some nuts. Like I have some walnuts. I have some macadamia nuts now. And there's some beans I have, because you're not allowed to have any beans.
No legumes?
No legumes. They're inflammatory. All of these foods are inflammatory. But then after a while, when you finally start to repair the gut, you can go and you can incorporate some of these back into the diet. But you definitely can't reincorporate the dairy, the gluten.
No, fuck dairy, dude. Fuck dairy. I'm
lactose
lactose intolerant, so I can't eat it by default, even though I wanted to. But I developed that in my early 20s, but it was like a blessing in disguise, because now I can't have all that fucking ice cream and creamy pasta sauce and these fatty, nasty things that I shouldn't have been having.
You can have the coconut ice cream.
Yeah, and I do occasionally, but restaurants rarely have it unless you go to like a vegan restaurant, and I just don't buy it. I really try not to eat. Here, I'm going to pat myself on the back on my own podcast. I try not to eat a lot of sugars, period. Just like fruit and super dark cacao chocolate.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll slip up and eat. If I eat some bread, that's fucking sugar in my body. Sugar makes me crash really bad, I've realized lately.
Yeah.
Like I just get so tired. Even if it's not straight up sugar, even if it's carbs like that turn into sugar.
Yeah.
I died. I'm so tired. But if I eat meats, veggies, and fruit, I'm maintaining my energy a lot better.
Well, wheat,
Kills me, dude. It puts me right to bed.
well, like wheat, like brown bread, people think wheat is healthier. It's actually worse.
Yeah.
It
I was just
actually
reading that.
spikes your glycemic index like faster than
Yeah,
a
so you have an
Snickers
insulin
bar.
crash is basically what I feel like I experienced.
The problem really is Monsanto. Monsanto has fucked up the
devil.
entire food supply.
Yeah, they're the devil.
And I feel like all we can do at this point is reverse it with supplements.
Mhm. Yeah, I just maybe like 3 or 4 episodes ago, me and this guest, my man Rocco, we did a whole episode on supplements, different like herbal and natural remedies and shit, and we just broke each one down and stuff like that. A lot of people are hitting me up about it, and stuff that some of the stuff is common in the household or in the local grocery stores. It's not like weirdo shit you got to hunt for. Some of it is a little more harder to find depending where you live, but.
Well, one of the best things that you can take for to detox from GMOs and glyphosate is a supplement called Restore. It's called Restore for Life. It's fulvic and humic acid.
Fulvic acid's really good for you.
Yeah, so it helps to it helps to repair the gut lining. Yeah.
Yeah. What are like certain anti-inflammatories that can help, like natural things you can take to help kind of combat that shit if you have an autoimmune disorder?
So turmeric helps a lot of people.
Woo!
Yeah.
We were just eating some of it last night. I try to put a lot of that shit in my body.
Ginger is really anti-inflammatory. I actually have a problem with turmeric. I think I have an allergy to it.
Oh no.
So I don't do so well with it, but it really helps a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's like very anti-cancerous.
Yeah.
And yeah, it really helps lower the inflammation a lot.
Oh,
So
that sucks you have an allergy.
but also if people have an autoimmune condition and they're in like chronic pain, I highly recommend that they buy their own cupping set. You can get a cupping set like on Amazon for like $40.
Does it hurt like a motherfucker?
And I love it because it feels like such pressure that's taking the inflammation away, and for me, it takes the pain away. I mean, I should have brought it here to.
Where do you do it on your body? Like just where the pain's at?
Yeah.
And you do it on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
See, oh man, I don't know. I've never done it. I've had a friend who tried it, and he had a shoulder injury from sports, and he said it hurt like a motherfucker.
The cupping, I love it.
And he was a strong dude, so I don't know, but maybe he was a pussy with that kind. Some people
I think
have
women,
a problem.
yeah, I think women have a stronger pain tolerance
Definitely.
than
You
men.
guys definitely do.
Yeah.
Whenever my girlfriend's complaining, I just tell her, it's like, you're lying. I know you're fine. You're stronger than me. Don't complain.
Yeah.
I'm joking. But you guys are definitely, I mean, if you could squeeze out babies,
Yeah.
you're strong.
So also for Lyme disease, it's really good to work on the fascia. So it's really good for your mom to have myofascial release, which
What's that?
It's this special massage because basically the entire body looks like a spider web inside. It has like tissue, right? That literally looks like a spider web. So anytime you have like surgery, for example, and you cut the fascia, then it turns into scar tissue, and these lumps of scar tissue form. So it starts to pull everything together, right? That's why somebody might like walk hunched over. Or that might be why they have such bad lower back pain. Or in your mom's case, the Lyme disease, what it does is all of the oxygen comes out of the cells. So her cells need oxygen. They're deprived, and the myofascial release will help get the oxygen into the cells and will help her if she's in physical pain.
Oh, shit. Good. Thank you for the tip. I'm going to have to put her onto that.
Because my pain didn't diminish until I started the myofascial release and the cupping.
How long have you been dealing with this disorder or been like aware of it?
I've been in like bad pain since I was 13.
Oh, so this is a long time.
A long time.
Shit.
But then the last 4 years, really, really awful pain.
Was there any
and I really
reason
didn't.
why? In the 4 years, it was worse?
Yeah, because I have something now called adenomyosis, where the endometriosis moved to the muscle of the uterus and it's caught inside the muscle. And the way it was placed there is because I had a C-section surgery for the endometriosis like 15 years ago. And endometriosis is really tricky because when you cut the knife, you spread it. So they spread it to the muscle. So the surgery did more damage to me than the disease itself. And also it like all of these doctors are like hell bent on giving women C-sections.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, because they want to leave the hospital. They don't want to wait around 9 hours for you to have
C-section baby myself.
Yeah, they don't want to wait around for you to have a baby. And of course, sometimes they're needed, but most times they're not needed. That's why it's so important to have a
natural birth,
a midwife or a doula if you're going to have a baby in the hospital, so that you can really communicate, or that person can be the middle person to communicate like what your needs are during the surgery. Because then that C-section develops a lot of scar tissue around it. So women feel very tight there, or scar feels tight there, or they feel like they're like in pain there, and the cupping and the myofascial release will help it.
Man, that shit sounds fucking painful.
Yeah.
So do you find the pain is like pretty mitigated
now?
Yeah.
Yes, I have been feeling great, but today is the first day, I would say, since July or August that I feel pretty bad. I feel pretty bad. Yeah, it's because of the food, for sure.
What did you, at least, was it fun going down, the food? Was it tasty in the moment?
I had a bite of pasta the other night. I had steak tartare.
Oh, man. What could you have the tartare? What's wrong with steak? I thought meat was okay.
There was dairy was on it, and I don't do well with cow with beef. No.
Where was the pasta tasty? Was it fun?
It was okay.
It wasn't even worth it.
It wasn't even worth it. I went to test.
Yeah.
On Sunset, it was not worth it.
All right.
And then this morning, I was going to breakfast at Soho House with one of my best friends, and they're like, "Oh, we're doing a tasting for breakfast," and it was so bad. I had a pancake, which I never eat pancakes, and I had this waffle, and it was bad. I was eating all kinds of bad things that I never have. So
I'm sorry, but
that's how much the food can affect these autoimmune conditions. So for people who are in chronic pain, you have to cut out.
Yeah, you gotta be
the
strict.
Inflammatory. Yeah. No alcohol, really strict.
No alcohol. That's why inflammatory.
Very inflammatory.
Yeah, not at all. I doubt my mother's cutting that out.
And no nightshades, no eggplant, tomatoes, and potatoes.
Yeah, she was actually told to. I know tomatoes was a no for her for sure. No potatoes, even sweet potatoes. No.
Sweet potatoes are good,
but not regular white potatoes, tomatoes, and eggplants.
When I go to Italy, I can have the potatoes and I feel fine. So.
It's just the way they're made here.
Yeah.
I hate that.
For sure.
I hate that. You ever entertain the thought of living in another country?
Yes, every day.
It's funny how many people do think about that. I mean, I lived in another country, and I definitely thought about living. Where did you live? I grew up in Nevis and St. Kitts in the West Indies, in the Caribbean.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
What sign are you?
Aries.
What's your rising?
I don't know.
When's your birthday?
March 22nd.
You'd have to ask. May 23rd.
You're when?
May 23rd.
Oh, so like a Taurus or not?
Taurus, Gemini. Oh. I have like 6 planets in Taurus, but I'm a Gemini.
I don't know a whole bunch about astrology. I have a lot of people I know who do.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's a Taurus. My mother's a Taurus also. So I hang out with them. And I had a crazy experience with a Gemini once. So.
Was she bipolar?
Yes, she was.
Was there weren't 2 of her? There were like 7?
No, there were 2 of her. Just 2, but an extremely powerful 2. Extremely powerful and unpredictable.
Unpredictable, yeah. Tell me.
Oh, man. It just was like, I'd never experienced that before with somebody.
Hot and cold?
That's understatement. Like Jekyll and Hyde shit. And then she would get like physical. She was crazy.
No.
She wasn't a girlfriend. We were just dating too. This did not last. There's no way I was gonna like tolerate that. But it actually is when it induced anxiety in me. I've never had anxiety in my life.
Yeah.
And since then I deal with anxiety. Yeah. So yeah, not to generalize, but
what do you do for your
anxiety? For years, like when it first came, I didn't know what was going on, and I was just fucking having panic attacks. So at first, I was on prescription medication for like 5 or 6 years.
Oh wow!
For depression and anxiety, but then I've been off of all that shit for like 5 years.
So good that you're off.
Yeah, it was hard. It wasn't easy. I went cold turkey the first time, which is not a good idea. And then I had to get back on it and wean off. So now for anxiety, I found exercise and diet are super duper important. For me, exercise helps my anxiety a lot. But I used to go to therapy with a psychoanalyst, not like, more like, like Freudian style therapy, not a psychiatrist ass therapist writing me fucking scripts. And then my mother's boyfriend at the time started putting me on the stuff like kava for immediate relaxation of stress, holy basil, rhodiola, shit like that.
Oh, I have, I'll send you my adaptogen. I have an adaptogen with holy basil. It's amazing because what it does is it lowers cortisol in the body.
Yeah.
And cortisol is the stress hormone.
Yep. It really helps me out. And then eating just if my body feels better, I think I handle stress better.
And you date a Taurus, so she calms things down. The Taurus has like a very calming.
She's very, and like my mother's very calming in that presence too. So it's nice for me, to have that. I mean, I've definitely.
But Taurus can also be a dictator.
Stubborn as hell, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty strong-headed in my own right too, and that's whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So
it's weird. Aries usually don't like to be tied down.
Yeah, I'm not.
They get bored usually.
Yeah, well, my track record shows.
What's your longest relationship?
5 years, 5.5 years.
That's good.
Yeah, well, there's also, I've been in relationships where I wasn't always, I was in the relationship, but I wasn't really in the relationship all the way, So, like that just speaks to what you're saying about Aries, but I think there's something about the calming Taurus thing and the trust, the loyalty type thing is big for me. I have a hard time with trust issues. I don't trust many people at all.
Me neither.
When I do, it's it takes away anxiety, which I suffer from. So
Same.
if I can trust you, even if you drive me nuts in all these other ways, if I can trust you, you're lowering my anxiety overall, which is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, even some of my best friends, I don't know, not that I don't trust them. If you're listening, I trust you. It's probably the people not listening I don't trust. But sometimes it still causes stress in your friendship, or your family members and shit like that. Like that shit drives me crazy.
Yeah, I think I prefer to spend a lot of time by myself. I have amazing friends, but just being by myself, it's so relaxing.
You look relaxed. You look like a relaxed person.
Yeah, I am. I'm very relaxed, but then Jersey Jena comes out once in a while.
I mean, if it was there to begin with, it's always there. It's just how you
I handle it much better than I used to.
I mean, I definitely let my anxiety sometimes get the best of me I would use anger and aggression to kind of take control of my anxiety, so I didn't feel so helpless.
Me too.
You have anxiety. I feel help. My therapist helped me understand how you're getting angry because now you're in control, even if that means you're going to get violent or aggressive or mean.
That's right.
Because feeling helpless sucks, dude. It's like, what am I? You just sit there on the couch, you can't do nothing, so you get angry.
Yeah, I think when you're hurt, for me, my defense mechanism is to get aggressive and to be angry.
Yeah, it's fun because then
that's where the Jersey side comes out, because then I'm like feel like I'm defending myself.
Yeah, you feel just.
Yes,
it justifies the anxiety.
It feels justified for a few days, and then after that, then you feel bad.
Dude, it doesn't even last for a few days, man. Like 2 hours after, like even if I have an outburst or I get very confrontational sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
And so afterwards, just hours later, my Catholic guilt sets in, or like I just feel like, I start analyzing the situation, and now I'm mad at myself. I'm disappointed at myself for how I acted.
Yeah,
it's just a bad.
And then even if they're wrong, you feel guilty, and then it's like you're saying you're sorry to them, even though they're the most fucked up person. And then that's why you can't do it, because you can't let them turn around and call you crazy and try to make you feel bad when they're the ones who are wrong. But you have to just control the reaction.
That's something I'm working on.
Me too. I think it's because we're from the East Coast too.
And then not only that, from the East Coast in the West Coast, in a place where whether it's genuine or artificial,
no one's genuine here.
There's a lot of artificial calmness,
and they have no emotion.
Yeah,
they have no emotion.
They're real apathetic or tranquil. Not tranquil even, but just apathetic to certain things.
No, it's like they have no empathy.
Yeah, it's weird. Like there's a lot of people posture themselves in a certain way to they want to present themselves as peaceful or calm or not aggressive, or I'm a vegan, I'm an all natural. They do a lot of things more to do them. And
then if you really know who they are, it's like they are not that at all.
A lot of judging, a lot of people putting themselves on
It's all bullshit. You know what the thing about LA that really cracks me up is, though, that people buy bullshit.
You could
Like
sell so much bullshit out here.
You could sell it so
God, we should
easily,
sell
and they
crystals.
buy it.
I'm gonna sell some
Like they
crystals.
really think like they'll see somebody with 80,000 followers, and they'll think that person is rich, and they have it made, and literally that person is so broke, and they're living off of their friends.
Yeah, dude.
It's like it's the craziest thing, and people gravitate towards those people that are bullshitters.
It's real easy to fool people out here.
But not me.
Yeah. No,
Right?
well, you're from the East Coast. Maybe you're just sharper. You're smarter. You kind of know the inner workings of what's real. And what's
Yeah, but I just look at it and I'm like, you're not like really taking that for real. Like it's so crazy.
I
Because in
see it all
LA
the
they
time.
like an actor. They
Yeah.
like someone who is.
Yeah, I mean, it's Hollywood. It's based off of people pretending. You know, I mean, there's no shouts at you guys who act and shit. I watch movies all the time, but the whole industry and shit is based out of something that's pretending. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
why they're like, even if a devil in sheep's clothes is speaking to them, because it makes them feel good.
It's true. It's a lot of superficiality. And so that happens, like just saying that you came from yoga class, whether you did or you did anything in that yoga class, or you only went once a month, just be able to say certain things that you do, or, oh, I just bought this blank stuff for my dog. Like, it's not you really wanted that organic food for your dog. You wanted to say to somebody that you bought it so you could feel, people want to feel like they're doing the good thing, even if they don't really want the heavy lifting. That's really a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I live on another planet and I just landed here, especially lately. I'm like,
have you felt like not isolated lately? Have you felt like
I feel I have
alone
my
in your own
crew
way?
in LA. I have a tight crew, and our thoughts and beliefs are all similar. But I think, especially like since the election, I feel there's a group of us like underground that like we consider ourselves to be libertarians, and we're, not on the left or not on the right. And because you're not on the left, they assume
you're on the right?
you're on the right.
Dude, give me a high five, Jenna. I like you even more now because this happens to me all the time. I'm
And I have
nonpartisan.
these fucking bitches who go into my accounts and say they own a fucking yoga studio with the word love in it. And then they go in my accounts, and the accounts take pictures of them and send it. And they say, oh, she's a Trump supporter. Well, one, I didn't vote, but two, I hate Hillary so much. She is fucking tied.
Dude, I love you. I didn't even notice about you. And I love you even more. She's a devil.
Tied.
Dude.
She's a fucking devil.
She's tied. Moves for
She's
years.
tied. Oh my God. She's a pedophile. She's gotten
Murderers,
somebody off.
murderers.
She's gotten somebody off who was trafficking children from Haiti, who now works for Amber Alert in the United States. Her name was Laura Silsby. Now her name is Laura Gaynor. I can send you. Like, these are not conspiracy
You don't
theories.
have to twist
And
my
on
arm,
top
girl.
of
I hate
it,
on that.
Hillary is so tied to Monsanto.
All the big corporations.
They
big
all
banking,
are.
big
And
pharma.
I'm very anti-corporation, and I'm anti-big pharma. And these vaccines, it's a real...
Killer, dude. These opiates have killed so many of my friends and
Oh
family
my
back
God,
home.
I
Like,
know.
fuck that.
And now that Bayer and Monsanto have teamed up, Bayer is responsible for making aspirine, and aspirine has caused like more drug-related deaths than like heroin. It's crazy. So I have like my whole crew of like underground friends, and we share the same views, but we're a very small group.
Yeah,
we're a very small group,
dude.
and we can't like speak out loud because we're harassed by these fucking
It's funny
people
when
that take the fucking New York Times as their Bible without
bullshit.
doing their
dude.
fucking research.
MSNBC is just Fox News on the other side of the paradigm, and people just
It's like, who owns that?
Yeah, dude.
Who owns Fox is owned by Murdoch, and he's very conservative. And then on the other side, CNN is owned by Time Warner, and Time Warner was Hillary Clinton's seventh biggest donor.
dude. I mean,
It's like the media is controlling us, and you have to look at who owns the media and what agenda they're trying to push. My Instagram, my Facebook page for Agent was deleted last week. All of these independent media.
deleted it? Somebody else?
No, somebody else deleted it. So they deleted all of these independent Facebook pages. I can send you links.
Yeah, that's
a
crazy.
lot of people's pages came down who
I've
are
heard of that.
promoting.
People happen to like YouTube pages a lot lately. And shit.
But it's people who are promoting alternative holistic health, and my page is gone.
Well, that's not surprising because it goes in total disinterest of what big pharma and Democrats and Republicans Dude, you bringing up a point that like drives me nuts. Is like you can't speak openly on anything because one side demonizes you, but essentially practicing the same thing they criticize the other side of doing.
Yeah,
But they think it's just because
fucking
it's theirs.
crazy.
And people don't understand what like freedom and freedom of speech and things mean. Like you have to allow other people to speak things you might not agree about just so you can speak what you believe in. And these people on the left do just what the people on the right do or what they criticize them of doing. And it fucking drives me nuts.
And these girls forget that I'm from Trenton.
Yeah, dude, Trenton.
And they forget who they're
Trenton, New
fucking
Jersey,
with.
dude. Oh man, last time I was in Jersey. Like I was in Jersey in the summer. I was in Homedale. You ever heard of this town, Homedale?
Yeah, but
I don't know.
that
It was
I've
because
been
we was playing at a giant amphitheater, big, like 30,000 person place. So they usually have those places in like little suburb towns. So I have no idea
there. Yeah.
what big city or town is next to.
So are you voting on the 8th?
I already did. I could absentee ballot and
did?
stuff. Yeah, because I'll be in Europe. So, I mean, I don't care if people have problems. I vote on things I know about, and the things I don't, or candidates I don't know about, and there's no other options I fuck with. I don't vote. I don't just do it just to do it.
Yeah, the food and vaccines are really important.
Yeah, I
to
vote a
me.
lot of things on things like that, things that are like
Yeah.
more like localized shit.
Of course,
you know?
if you don't have your health, you have nothing.
Yeah.
Like first and foremost, you need your health. And
Yeah.
some people take it for granted and they're healthy their whole lives or they're eating shit food and then one day they get sick.
Dude,
and then
that's
they
a
start
wrap.
to realize, and I think
It's too late then too.
it's too late then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the hell, any candidate running on anything that's all about like single payer, universal health care, I'm gonna vote for him or her. Like that, like nobody, even like 99% Democrats don't even run for that on that shit, and that just shows you their true colors. It's disrespectful.
Well, also, if you go to Sweden, though, where they, have free healthcare,
Yeah.
if something goes wrong, like they can't get in to see a doctor for months.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
very hard for them to see a good doctor.
yeah, it's true. Well, I don't know, it's tricky. I don't know the whole healthcare.
It's awful. I
It's
mean,
not-
that's why I just promote holistic health because,
yeah, keeping it all natural.
well, also it's like
But more
these
affordable.
Western doctors, like if you have a heart issue or if you have a broken bone, they're great. If you have some kind of aneurysm, but if you have some kind of chronic illness, they have no idea
They're not
what
trained
to
in
do.
anything that can be derived from diet shit too, right? They don't know nutrition like that.
They
right?
learn like 8 hours total in med school.
That's not very much.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
8 hours. That's
Yeah.
it. That's insane.
I have to do more hours than that just to knock a fucking speeding ticket price down so my insurance doesn't go up.
Yeah.
Fucking Santa Monica.
so
Fucking bullshit. But yeah, dude, like that's.
do you have your undercover like libertarians?
I don't know if
hanging
I don't think I would say I'm a libertarian because there's some things that they like. I don't think I could rock with any party. I'd rather just vote. If I'm voting for people like candidates, independent, so I could vote for the person and their policies, not the party. Because then I feel like I'm just lining up with a party, even if one guy in that party the next year has some things I don't rock with. Like people will
I
just
agree
willingly
with
be
you.
Democrats or Republicans because they want to sign up for the team, the side. But I'd rather more of the issues. I have very little faith in American politics after the last election. And mainly because the DNC stole it from the guy who should have won it and admitted it,
Yeah.
and so like,
And they admitted it.
I mean, basically, it's out there and no one made a stink about that. And they make this whole Russia thing up to distract from the fact that they got busted stealing from the guy who should have won, Bernie Sanders. So I don't know, man. I'm just like, fuck, I have some friends who don't vote. Some can't because they're felons and some who don't because they're very intellectual, driven reasoning behind it. And like, sometimes when they explain it, I can't argue with it. I'm not going to bark down your throat and say vote. Like, I don't know. I do vote for certain things and certain people, but I
just
know.
think people should be free to make their own decisions.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
like
you.
if somebody wants to like have an abortion, okay. If
Yeah.
somebody wants to not vaccinate their kid,
I'm all for that.
okay. Like I don't like being told what to do.
Yeah, I'm not into authority and I'm not into the government.
Not
having
into
that-
the government.
Yeah,
at
no, I
all.
agree with that. There should be no reason for you to tell me what I can and can't do like that. Even when it comes to drugs or prostitution and things like, I think those things should be legalized and regulated a lot better.
Yeah.
If people want to do things that are bad for themselves, I might not encourage it, but that's your call, dude. It's all good. If it's bad for my neighbor, my kid, now we have to have a different discussion. But that's not what we're talking about. when we're
Do you
talking about
think
those things.
Bernie would have won had he gone against Trump?
I think so. Yeah, I
I
do.
do too.
I do too. I talked about this in here. I was traveling the country at that time, leading like the 5 months before the election.
Yeah.
we were like working for bands, and I was in like the South and the Midwest, and like not the major cities too, not just like Atlanta and Nashville. I was in like the little cutty places that people never go. And I saw that coming. Like, this is after Hillary's already taken the DNC. I was like, this Trump's gonna win. And people didn't believe me when I was in New York or Boston or LA.
I didn't think he would.
I wouldn't have if I was only in LA or New York or Boston, but like
Yeah.
that was, I saw that coming. You know,
Yeah.
I think Bernie would have won, and I think that's why there's a lot of allegations and evidence to point to the DNC propping up Trump in the news before the DNC primary had happened. So there was more coverage of Trump, so people would be scared and try to vote for Hillary and not Bernie, knowing that they think they would easily beat Trump. And MSNBC and all these companies were like encouraged not to fucking cover Bernie Sanders at all. Don't go to his rallies. Don't show that he's filling up stadiums and shit.
Yeah.
And put up Trump on more so people would just knee-jerk reaction go for Hillary.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It all just backfired on them.
So
but then
sad.
we all lose over. It's not even about arguing about Hillary or Trump. It's like we all lose, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
He was very anti-Monsanto. Bernie. And
Bernie.
Yeah.
He's been like that for, I've been aware of Bernie Sanders for a long time. My father was really into him like 15, 20 years ago.
Mm.
And so I was hip to, like, he's been talking about the same shit. You know, he hasn't really changed his shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens next election.
I know. I think like having like some kind of like faith in like myself or like humanity and out of the political realm of the United States helps me like fucking wake up in the morning and not want to jump out a window, you know?
Yeah.
And like some of that, like, I don't know. I used to be super into politics and it used to stress me out a lot more. And I used to be very active when I was a kid and shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, somewhere in the recent times, my shit has changed. Maybe I'm like bitter and jaded, or maybe like my spiritual connection is just a new earth thing. Kind of like guides me in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, God is in charge, though. I do believe that.
Yeah.
So,
I'm on that same tip.
yeah. I think there is a method to all the madness that's happening. So
that's for sure.
hopefully we'll be okay.
Yeah. Did you to like kind of help with your disorders and shit?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like other shit going down up in your brain too, or is this all physical? You got like mental stress and sadness? It's all right if you don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the emotions are what completely dictate what's going on in the physical body most of the time, right? So it all starts with the emotions and what's going on mentally. Yeah, I had been in a really abusive relationship when I moved to LA. And I had never been in a physically violent relationship before in my life. And it was very, very traumatizing. And I had actually I didn't know we were going to go here, but let's go here. I had went to
We're here, just damaged goods. We do this well.
So I went to the Kabbalah Center for a while.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned this to me.
I did?
Well, no, just that you studied Kabbalah. You didn't.
Did I tell you anything?
Nah, so please do tell.
So I was there for like 7 years. I mean, it's a complete cult.
Where is this?
It's on Robertson.
Okay, by Beverlywood, close to here.
It's on like Pico and Robertson, like Olympic, closer to Olympic. And so I was there for like 7 years, and
that's a long time.
Yeah, and the rabbi, I had been sick. I had kidney stones, but the rabbi like tried to drug me and rape me, and I had a huge lawsuit. This was way before Me Too came out. This was in 2012, and all of like the whole community there really turned against me, or they
Kabbalah
left.
Community?
Yeah, there's a lot of celebrities there, and they either turned against me or they left. But he had done this to several women, and no one would come forward in my defense. Well, I won the lawsuit, and this was in 2014, and then all the members who had stayed said that I was lying and I was doing it for money. I never got paid a dime from it.
So what does the lawsuit bring then? It doesn't bring money or sue?
Well, they owe me the money. They didn't.
So they should, but they haven't paid.
Yeah, they haven't paid. And basically then when Me Too happened, all of these women came forward and said that he was like like abusing sexually abusing his babysitter and abusing, all of these other members at the Kabbalah Center. And so they all started coming forward. I'm like, well, this is, like you said, this too late. You could have, like,
Yeah, because they felt comfortable
because
now.
they
or
felt that's
alleged-
another thing that's so, because everybody's a bystander here and no one wants
Yeah.
to do what's right. But they felt comfortable once Me Too came out. And that trial was so stressful. They had 7 male attorneys against me, against my
Jesus.
one attorney. It was
Yeah,
7.
they lawyered up big time.
And that, I think, contributed to so much stress.
I can imagine.
And I think,
mean,
and
trauma.
I had went there because I was broken over the relationship and I was so fragile, and they really take advantage of people who are weak and who are emotionally
Open and vulnerable.
weak. Yeah. And very vulnerable. And coming forward and just going up against him in court was the best thing I ever did for myself, because I took my power
It
back.
was like empowering. Yeah, you stole the words.
Yeah, and I like started to say no to people. I stopped becoming like a yes person, and
Oh,
I stopped caring what anybody thought of me. I started trusting my gut and my intuition and honoring myself. So I think all of that contributes to your health.
that's
What are you
powerful
taking?
stuff. No, just like when I don't know the yes man thing, like, or saying yes to people. That's something I struggle with too. So learning how to say no and not care what people think must have been so liberating, especially coming from that hurt place.
Yeah, when your gut tells you to say no and somebody needs something from you, you have to honor and respect your gut no matter who that pisses off.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things for me, because especially if it's somebody like in my life that's a friend or a family member, I do care about them, and I hate letting people down, right? Because I don't want to
Don't
be
let
let down
yourself
myself.
down first.
But that's the thing; I always end up regretting it anyway. So in the last the last 3-4 years, I've actually begun to like be able to say no or put parameters. Like if someone was asking me for a favor, and I would always buckle and do them for this person when it inconvenienced me, I would say, yeah, I can help you Tuesday from 2 to 5. Like I give them a real small window of time. I make you have to work around it. You're going to really have to do the work if you want my help. It'll either encourage them to be more respectful and come at that time, or they go to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't be just used, and it makes you feel better. But that you were saying, like take advantage of people when they're in that weak, vulnerable situation. You went there for healing.
Yeah.
You went there for spiritual help, which is
And I got it, actually.
So you did get it before this went down?
Me going through the process of being there and going through that lawsuit was the biggest spiritual lesson I ever had, because I learned to stop betraying myself and stick up for myself. And I
got you, dude. Don't sweat that.
I took control of my life. I stopped being a victim.
So,
when you're going to those places, you're looking for somebody else to kind of save you, and you got to save yourself.
Did before that it culminated in that situation, did you like get any other spiritual healing or knowledge from this? Did you receive any?
There?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you differentiate it from the pain and the trauma?
Yes, that I learned that everything that has happened to us is a result of either our karma or a result of something that we brought into our life. So basically, if you're bringing in, let's say, if you're attracting abusive people, it's because that's where your energy is. It's like you're basically, you have a trade-off. It's like, why are you attracting abusive people? You need something from them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Carolyn Mace, she's this amazing healer. She always says that we prostitute ourselves in different ways. So we prostitute ourselves with money, or we prostitute ourselves with friends who maybe we don't want to speak up against them because maybe we think that they are influential and they can help us. So it's like there's these trade-offs.
I like that last point you made.
Yeah. So
referenced rather.
Yeah, and Kabbalah is really, it's just about becoming responsible for your life and to not be a victim anymore. But in the process of being at the Kabbalah Center, they make the Berg family out to be God, and
What's
they tell
Berg family? What's
the
that?
Berg. They're the ones who they like own the organization.
This
They're the
particular place?
founders, yes.
Oh shit, are they
And
gonna
so
come kill me?
they say that you're only the way that you connect to God is through the Berg family. So Karen Berg, the mother of the rabbi, you actually the Hevra, the people who work at the center for free, they have to get on their knees to speak to her, and they have to refer to her in third person. So they say, "What would Karen like to drink?" This is where Madonna goes, by the way.
Word.
Who Madonna knows
Name
this
drop.
whole story, by the way, and she, goes out there and she's like marching for women, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna say personal things that happen, but she wanted me to keep quiet. And then to see her marching, it was so disgusting to me.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. What when did you first drink ayahuasca or the daime or ayahuasca tea?
So one of my best friends, she was a heroin addict, and Tamara Mellon's ex-husband was the person who took her. He was a family friend. He recently died at an Ibogaine. Did you see that? He died in Mexico.
I did.
Yeah, he had relapsed a bunch of times, but he had
Died
taken.
from the ibogaine?
Yeah, but it was because his heart went out because he was still using a lot of drugs and mixing.
I don't want that to get missed.
Yeah, so basically he had taken her to Mexico, and she did Ibogaine, and she never touched heroin ever again. So since 2011, she was trying to get me to drink, and it took me like 3 years. In 2014, it was my first ceremony. Oh, that contributes to me making deodorant. Right after that, 3 weeks later, I started cooking deodorant out of nowhere, which was crazy. So yeah, I've done
those
it
powerful
6.
inspirations. I know what those are like. Those are awesome.
Yeah, I've done it 6 times, but I don't have a calling. I haven't done it for 2 years because the medicine was very specific that I had to go and do certain work and
Yeah.
really implement everything that I saw into my life, and that I couldn't keep escaping and doing the ayahuasca. But it's changed my life completely. But I'm doing the work now, so I'm not really called back to it.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I know people who go to like the churches that I go to often. I mean, they go once, twice a month. I've gone, I think probably the longest I've gone would be like 8 or 9 months, but it's all in the last 4 years.
When was it the first time?
It must be like 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago.
So the same time as me.
Yeah, roughly around that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a few friends who have I had a friend who cured his Oxycontin addiction instantly. Not only that, he ended up quitting everything, even though that he didn't necessarily think he had a problem with everything. Like the first time I did a 2-day ceremony with my friend, and this was not why I went at all, but I didn't smoke weed or drink alcohol for 2 months straight by like a byproduct of the ceremonies. It wasn't my intentions. It wasn't when I went in. I received a lot of healing for the things I went for. But this was just happened randomly. It was so weird. I
don't want meat after I do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I keep my diet pretty
me.
much the same as I do before I go. You know, I was always taught through the channels I go to about what
the pork to what
I
you
just
have
know
to,
meat.
yeah, no,
Like I just eat
no
pretty much
more.
vegetables and fruit.
So you do the diet for the 2
yeah.
weeks before?
No, I don't even do the 2 days. I do about like 3 days or 4 before and after it. You know, just like abstaining from all kinds of certain like processed food, just keeping fruit and veggies and pretty light.
You have to do it with a really good shaman too, because there's a lot of shamans that are working.
No,
for
my
the
boy,
dark
it's a
side.
boy, a friend of mine who got into the Santo Daime when he was in his young 20s, which was like 14 years ago.
Mhm.
And he's a kid I grew up with, a great friend of mine. I would just trust him as a friend, and he'd been into it, and it never had called me until then. And he spoke about the great healing properties and things of that nature, but never like trying to twist my arm or nothing like that. You know, just talking about his experiences. But I felt like it was calling me. I was in a really dark place. I was not in a good place at all.
Why dark place?
I think it's just a culmination of different lifestyles I was leading coming to a head. Like I really, really, coming off medications and a lot of other things just changing really fast, and a lot of bad things I had done, I think finally started to come to weight on my conscience, and it was overwhelming. I couldn't process it. I was getting suicidal, and I read about, I looked it up a couple of times about ayahuasca, different healing properties, because I had a friend, like I said, cured his drugs and all this. And I was like feeling like it was calling me. I mean, I tried to commit suicide twice. I was in a really dark spot. I didn't really know what to do or where to go. I had nothing left to lose. And I felt like, so I called my friend, and he had since moved out of America at the time. And I was like, hey man, I feel like it's calling me now, like finally. And he's like, all right, let's do this. Like, come, we'll do your first one's gonna just be you and me. And it was a 2-day thing, and it changed my life instantly. Like, things about me instantly changed, and things would then dramatically change over those next few years. And it's great for me, you know. Like, for me, it was great. I don't recommend it. I don't push it on anybody. I don't think. And my friend, the church that he belongs to, and them, they don't either. In fact, they're very selective about who they let do it, because they want to make sure people are receiving it right. Like, not if you were on prescription drugs, they won't let you do it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Diets, certain things,
You cannot do it if you're on antidepressants.
And some people
or
have adverse reactions because
No,
of
they
that.
can die.
And certain shamans and people who do these ceremonies, they don't care. They don't.
Yeah,
they
they
don't
can
screen
die.
you. Yeah, and it can just, or the worst, not the worst, but at least bad scenario is you get nothing from it. And so people are like, I didn't did it and it didn't do anything. And like, you can't, like you said, you can't just go to any run of the mill thing. And there are people that do take advantage of people's quest for healing, just like what happened at the Kabbalah Center. You're weak, you're vulnerable, you're looking for healing. People can do all kinds of fucked up shit. And that's why it felt so pure, the channels in the church I went through, that I go through, my boys thing. No pushing it on you, no trying. There's no fucking cult-like vibe. Yes, they need donations to make it, but these people are doing all real humble. They're renting the spaces.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any money, I've gone when I did have money, they don't turn you away, you know?
I did my 5 ceremonies with the same person. My first ceremony was in Bushwick.
Oh yeah, I've done New York City ones.
And now, she comes to LA once in a while, but I'm not called to do it anytime soon, but I recommend it it changes everyone's life.
Big healing for me. You know?
It's a huge healing, especially with the mental help that it gives and the depression. It really takes those demons away. I think.
Yeah, it makes you examine them, focus them, live through them again, die with them. You know, like.
Did you have any difficult ceremonies?
Yeah, most of them. You know,
Really?
I had like some super deep, powerful ones.
Did you have any where you like freaked out in the
Oh
ceremony?
no, not like. I mean, I've definitely like screamed and cried, rivers of tears, and like wild shit. You know, repented in a way, if you will.
My 4th ceremony was very intense.
Yeah,
it really it was very, 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 very intense for like 6 hours.
Yeah. All the ones I've gone are pretty long, 8 hours usually. And, and then and sometimes even when the ceremony closes, you still feel the power of the medicine for a while, even though like kind of like, I don't like to say sober up, but you kind of like with the way the ceremonies close, at least the ones I go to, you kind of like brings you to a focus. As painful as it is during, so it always ends in a very euphoric, warm way.
It's funny because when you come out of it, like people are drawn to you too, like children and animals and people in the
glow
street.
about your face.
You glow. You're glowing because
do.
you've purged so much.
Yep.
So people it's like you're magnetic.
It's true.
It's a very.
It always puts me in a great mood too for the immediate time after like the first.
Yeah,
few
there's
weeks
like no
afterwards.
people feel like, am I gonna feel like shit the next day? I'm like, no, you'll feel like amazing.
It's the best night's sleep you'll get.
Yeah.
You know, I don't particularly sleep well. So that helps me just rest. I feel so well rested. Like I feel like I've been sleeping for like years, you know?
Yeah.
It's fucking powerful.
Yeah.
Everyone's always worried. It's like, do you shit yourself? Do you throw up on yourself? I never shit myself, ever.
I threw up on myself.
Oh, like I throw up, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna throw up. Like I'm in control of it.
I had no control
just,
the 4th time.
Yeah, just went everywhere.
No control the 4th time. It was very intense.
Deep one. You had a deep one.
Yeah.
Where was that one? In New York?
It was upstate New York.
Yeah,
it was upstate. And
was it like out in the cut, like outside? Was it naturey?
No, it was actually, it's in this old church that she bought. It used to be a church.
That's interesting.
So it's like this, like kind of like mansion. I don't know. I don't think I'm still not recovered from that time because it was so intense. Oh, but it really, I think it lifted and cleared a lot of
definitely
things
does that.
off. Yeah.
The lessons too, like you don't always pick them up right away. They're not, or sometimes they're laid out right in front of you.
Do you write?
Like journals of it?
I write it.
I have not always, but it's like burns in my brain. Like it's there. Like it's not anything I can't remember vividly. You know, I recall it really good. Were you raised with a religion was you raised Catholic when you were younger?
I was raised Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I didn't like adhere to it as an adult, but I was raised against my will slightly as a child.
Yeah, I don't go to church, and I don't, I think these priests are crazy, and there's such an issue
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
the Catholic Church covering them up. But when I was at Kabbalah, I think I denied that part of myself that was Catholic, and I think, I don't know, there's something happened with me denying that where my life kind of fell apart, and I have embraced that part back into me because I think when you are baptized or when you have that ritual,
Yeah.
there's something about the rituals that feel very protective.
That's a good way to describe it.
So my relationship is between me and God. I don't need a priest to really talk to me. God, I mean, I believe God is within, and that we have to awaken the God within, because we were created by God, so, or the universe, or whatever term you'd like to use. So I think it's really about awakening that highest level and version of yourself, and that, for me, that's God. But there's something about like, my grandmother, I mean, she's very Italian, so she's always wearing the scapular, around her neck, and I have that in my car. So just those little things are very protective.
Yeah.
For me.
I have like what people infer as being religious or spiritual, like tattoos and shit on me and stuff like that.
So do you have like any like Catholic tattoos?
I mean, they could be applied to be
Like
Catholic, but I mean,
crosses?
they're more just like
Let me see. Where is
just tons of shit. I mean, well, that's different. That's like that's got Islamic ties to the visuals. You guys can't see this. You got to listen with your ears. But I have different things that like I have like just like deliver us from evil. That's very Catholic right there. I have like the Virgin Mary on this side. I've got
one
other
love,
things.
one life. And do you feel like they protect you?
Some of them do. Some of them, yeah, some of them do.
One love, one life. Is that Nas?
No, well, I mean, he says it no, but it's like an old Bob Marley lyric. That's from a very young man. That's like a teenage.
Oh yeah,
too.
I'm thinking.
I have like a demon.
Now the Bob Marley kicks in. At first, the Nas was kicking in.
I have like this devil on my arm and an angel on this arm, and I have like a lot of straight shit. I just all kinds of different.
What is that one? Can you?
Which one? This one?
Save me.
Save me. Yeah, that's like talk about a cry for help, but that wasn't even. But that's not like religious per se. But I mean, it can be taken as something like that.
Do you think that you've gotten all these tattoos because they help you maybe process your pain?
Definitely.
Because that means you went through a really something very traumatizing or painful to have this many tattoos.
You sound like my grandmother. I mean, yeah, definitely. A lot of them, definitely. Some are just like, I guess, yeah, they're all kind of tying to pain. There's some that are like placeholders here that we had to fill up a sleeve with, you know what I'm saying? But there is a lot of that. There's like this snake right here on my bicep. It's like in an infinity symbol because it's infinitely chasing itself. Like self is your greatest enemy.
Well, it's an 8.
Yeah, it's an 8, but it's like, it's always, you're always chasing yourself. You're always fighting yourself. That's what that one was.
You have lots of roses.
Those are the place fillers. Those have no painful meaning.
Okay, and do you have any on your back?
Yeah, my back, my stomach,
can I
my
see your
chest.
back?
It's hard. I'll have to show it to you after. The back is not painful. It's just a big Polish eagle with my Polish name on the top of it. It covers my back, yeah.
Are you all Polish?
No, half.
What's the other half?
Irish. And then I have these weird like devil face women skeleton things on my shoulders that go from the back.
My dad's mom is all Polish.
Oh, shit.
My dad's mom is all Polish. My grandmother, his dad is all Italian. And my mom's mom is all Italian. And her father, he passed away. My grandfather's half Irish and half Italian.
Okay.
So I'm the same. I'm Italian, Polish, and Irish. Yeah.
It's like the East Coast mix.
I think so. Yeah.
Definitely.
What does that say? Demon, deliver us?
This was just deliver us from evil. And then it says die with me. It's like this demon with his fucking arm extended. And then this one just says live with me. It's like an angel. Just like good and evil pulling you in opposite
Jake,
directions.
are you finished? Are you finished or are you getting more?
I kind of want to get some little shits on my rib cages.
Oh, God. I hear they are very painful.
I'm a little too old for painful tattoos now. My tattoos have to be short. They can't be more than an hour. I used to be able to sit for like 6 hours. I'm too old. It hurts too much, man.
None on the neck, though.
Nah, neck tattoos are corny, dude. Dudes are pussies with their little neck and face tattoos.
Right, yeah.
I don't like those. Hand tattoos, I used to think I wanted, but I don't.
Good. No, don't do
Yeah.
the hands.
I mean, I could also not get any
you
more
have nice
tattoos.
hands. Don't tattoo the
Thank you.
hands.
You see, actually, the mutual friend of ours, Adam Amiwell, he did this little fishbone right there with a stick and poke. That's like take the needle, dip the needle in the ink,
Oh, he
stabs you.
did?
Yeah, he did it to me, and then he did it to his leg right after.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
hot. It was like 95 degrees in his apartment. Just came from surfing. It was fun though. It's a
Oh
cool
my
little
God.
bond. It hurt a lot more than I thought. It was not going to be that painful. He had to go over it so many times to thicken the dots. You know, not a good move. I mean, it's a good move, but it hurts like a motherfucker.
I got my first tattoo when I was 14, and the guy did it with like a cigarette in one hand and a Zima in the other hand. Remember Zima?
Yeah.
And literally, so I, of course, like found somebody to tattoo underage. So my entire high school, like literally
Rebellious
went
young
after.
girl.
Yeah, like, so
He-
we like literally all had tattoos in
Buy this
ninth
guy. He could
grade.
buy a lot of Zima with the money. What was the tattoo?
Oh gosh, it was a butterfly, and then I changed it into a fairy, and then I have 2 more butterflies on my back. And for a while, I hated them, but now I love them again. Now
That's
I
cool.
feel like they're just part of me, and
Yeah.
you know, like
I haven't changed any of my, like my first one I got when I was 17, this rattlesnake is like faded and shitty, but I kind of like it because it reminds me of when I was like skinny, small, 17-year-old little dude.
you know, the ink isn't good.
For your body, I'm sure it's not.
I mean, the ink is like, I mean, the heavy metals that are in that ink are not good at all.
I'm sure. The shit I've put in my body over the years, this is probably the least of my worries.
And it's worse to get them taken off because when they take them off, then the ink and the metals disperse even further.
Should tell that to my grandmother because she's always sending me fucking tattoo removal pamphlets in the mail.
I'll send you some links.
Those things look, I mean, I've heard from people I know that have gotten shit removed. It hurts. Takes way longer and it's way more painful.
Yes. Yeah.
It looks terrible.
Yeah.
I've never regretted any of them. I don't have like some girl's name or any dumb shit that I don't like. You know, like I'm fine with all these, which I've been remarkably lucky. No regrets on my tattoos.
All right, good.
Yeah, damn. But I like appreciate your concern. That's so cool. I do have the itch. I don't get tattoos unless I get the itch, and I might go years with that. But I have had the itch lately.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was thinking, you want to go get some tattoos? Do some kratom? Do some tattoos?
I want to take some kratom. Can you open this for me?
Yeah, well, I will do it once we're done because I can't administer it properly, but we will.
Okay.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of this. This shit is like, I don't rock with it, but I don't not rock with it. You know, I've done it. I've taken it a few times. I don't like to say done it. It always sounds like a drug. I've taken it a few times.
Yeah.
But a lot of people use this shit to help themselves. We were talking about it on the podcast recently. But it's like some states had like kratom bars where like you could go and sit in there and drink it. I think Colorado, maybe you could drink it and like chill out, people there. But then I think that gives it a bad stigma because people are then trying to associate it further with drugs. But we're going to give you some right now.
Have you heard of the Rife machine?
The Reich machine?
Rife machine. That
What's
would be
that?
good for your mom. So it's this machine, this German machine that works with frequency. So you set it to whatever frequency the disease is, and it kind of like goes over your organs in your body to match that frequency and remove the disease from it. It's kind of incredible.
You gotta
Your
put me
mom
onto
should.
that shit.
Yeah, that's great.
You got some rings going on there, girl. What you
I
got?
have some. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I
my
would not want to get in a
friends,
fist
Vanilla
fight with you.
Cocoa.
Jesus.
Yeah, I feel naked without them. They're kind of my tattoos.
That's
actually.
cool.
I don't feel like normal not wearing
Those
them.
ones are, that one like right there is like, ew. It's like 3 fingers, but it like it has like, I don't know how to describe it. Chains.
Well, it looks like no, it looks like 4 rings that are connected, and this one is 5, but they're all connected.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
they're cool.
I still do. I used to wear a lot of rings. A lot more jewelry. It depends what I'm doing. I mean, I'm in fucking casual daytime attire. I'm wearing chef shorts. I'm not a
Do you
chef.
ever come downtown?
Yeah, I do. I used to more than I was at downtown last weekend for an art show my boy had at night at the Jeff Hamilton Studios. I was there. I go downtown sometimes. Why?
I live downtown.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
It's not too far from me.
Yeah, it's nice to like be away from.
Yeah, it was fun getting out of your neck of the woods. I'm on the west side a lot.
Yeah.
I surf. I work around
Where
here.
do you surf?
Where?
Venice or Santa Monica?
Neither of those two. Fucking dirty,
Malibu?
nasty. Malibu sometimes, Sunset, County Line. I go up to Ventura, some secret little spots along the one. I go to Orange County sometimes.
Can you surf in near Point Doom?
You can, yeah.
Mm.
I've surfed occasionally at Manhattan Beach, but I don't like it there either.
You know, the most important thing you can do for your health is grow your own food. We need farms.
I know. Well, it's tough, dude. Like doing it in the city thing is tough, man. That's why we just gotta move to the country. But then it's like you gotta find a job. That you
So
can
which
live in the
country do you want to move
Oh,
to?
I mean just the country, like the countryside
Oh.
in America. I would move to Mexico. I mean, my father lives in Mexico.
He does?
Yeah, I go down there a lot.
Where in Mexico is he?
Well, I can't disclose that information. He's in the Baja.
Okay.
close to the water. But I would go down to Mexico. I go to like back to the Caribbean maybe.
Mm.
I don't know. I could see myself raising kids not here.
Me too.
I could see that.
The kids seem it's very hard to raise children here.
Yeah, and I
And to
mean,
have them be normal. I
yeah,
think the only way to have them normal
it's
is to
true.
just travel a lot and get out of here
And
a lot.
it's tough too, and the quality of life in America it's not where I would like it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people have these strange misconceptions about living abroad but like I've already done it, so I know what to kind of compare it, so it doesn't freak me out at all. I'm used to it, and
Yeah.
you got to have somebody that you'd want to raise kids with that is on the same wavelength about. Some people, like I've dated some girls and they couldn't even fathom. They love to travel. They could never fathom living outside of America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if they grew up in the worst parts of America, they still couldn't comprehend living in a quote unquote third world country. I was like, where you grew up is essentially a third world country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm down with it. But what's also funny is like as much as I'm a big critic of a lot of shit in America, I've also lived in places that we take a lot of the shit for granted here that they don't have elsewhere. So it's not the worst place. It's not the best place. It's not ideal, but it's not the worst place either.
Yeah, there's always a trade-off, no matter where you are.
I think it depends where you're at in your head and shit like that, So
yeah.
So what do you think? Should I get my girlfriend to lather me up with this oil?
I think
or is it
so.
Don't waste it on a sensual night?
You should definitely lather each other up with this oil.
Is she gonna slip around on me?
No, because
holy oil.
She's not gonna slip around because it absorbs, but it's great. You guys are gonna love it.
It smells good.
Yeah.
Should not waste it on masturbating though, right?
You should not. Absolutely not. That's a very expensive oil. Do not do that.
That's some elegant shit though. If I was on that level, where can people get these products?
They can get them on my website. We'll bring them there. agentnateur.com.
Yes, I'll put that in the descriptions too. agentnateur.com. That's the best place to send them right there.
Yes.
Awesome.
I have to head back downtown.
Yeah, let's do it, girl. Thank you so much for stopping by, Jena.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
You think it was good?
That was awesome, dude.